is well in Wonderland. I love this shirt, and I think I should do a try on clothing haul with African plants, with African prints, my African printed outfits, so that you can see this beautiful like African printed outfits that I have. But the only problem is that I only have like a few, maybe 3 or 2, which means I only have 2 outfits in that video. So yeah, would you like it? I can make one for you. But today's video is not about that. Today I want to explain something to you. What is it? What is it? What is it? You may wonder. It's just simple things that I will be explaining to you. Maybe, perhaps you're thinking that, oh, she will explain something like a pen. No. I don't want something that's simple, because you know this is a pen, right? So when you open it, or you want to write something with it, twist it this side clockwise, and if you done, twist it anti-clockwise. Open, close, open, close, open, close, open, close, open, close, open, open, and then you take it. It's blue, right? It's blue, and then there's a ring over here, and then it has this. It feels like a sponge, so soft. You can use it as an eraser. Have you seen a pen that could also be used as an eraser? With an eraser. That's so cool. Yeah, ink that is erasable. That's so cool. So you write like this. Your paper has a line, a red line this side, and then blue lines. You start from the red line, and then you write like this. You write like this. You write like this. And then when you're done with this line, you move on to the next line. Then you write like this. You write like this. You write like this. You write like this. But I'm pretty sure you know how to write. How to write. How to write. How to write. Right. How to write. Right. Right. I wish I had a pen that was like doing this, but I chose to use a different pen which doesn't. But you do know the color of this pen, right? It's blue. It's blue. It's blue. That's what color it is. It is blue. It's a bit thick. It's a bit thick. And then you write with the blue pen. And when you're done, lock it anti-clockwise. And then when it's like this, you can no longer write with it. You can see, right? You can no longer write with it. But I'm pretty sure you already knew this, right? But I still want to overly explain things. Simple things. Okay, coming. What can I explain? Ngoba yazi ba lusiba lokubhala olu lubhala ngombala oluhlaza. Kwaye xa ulivula ujijela kwelicala. Xa ucika ucika ujijela kwelicala. Xa solilayitile ubhala ujijela kwelicala. Kumgcobo omvu ephepheni nemici emininzi eluhlaza. Uqala emgcini obovu ubhale. Siya kwelicala. Xa uqibile kulo mgca phezulu wehle uyemgcini olandelayo kananjalo ubhale. Xa sowuqibile ukubhala yonke into oyibhalayo, yazi yonke. You already know that, right? Let's work with something else. Let's work with something different. Something African. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Something African is all we need. Something African. Let's overly explain things African. Okay. My stomach has been growling for a while now. Can I let it know a little secret? I decided to bulk film a lot of videos for the rest of the month of October, but my stomach is growling and I need a break. But how about I turn my break into an ASMR video as well? We can do that, we can do that, we can do that, but what should I talk about that's African? I mean, some Africans already know about it, but also South Africans know about it. And I can easily explain it to other people. What can that be? I mean, ndifundile into edibene nesiXhosa phakathi, into eyaziwa ngabantu balapha eAfrika. Kodwa not abantu abaninzi naseAfrika bayaziyo. Nje abantu bambalwa wethu. Kodwa apha eMzantsi ke funeka babe beyazile. Ngathethanga ntoni kanye kanye angiqinisekanga. Mandicinge ndisenze amathambo engqondo ndicinge. Let me just think and use my brain to think about it. Let me just cook something up in my brain. You know, when you're thinking, this part of your head is called the brain. I mean, this is your forehead, but that's where your brain is. You know, on your skull. So you used it to think, and right now that's what I'm using it to think about what I can teach you about that as something Africans would know about it. Not all of Africans though, because you don't want a lot of Africans to know about it, but it's still something that's famous in Africa, South Africa to be exact, because I'm South African after all, aren't I? Let me think. I'm thinking right now when I squint my eyes like this because I'm thinking. Ndifuna ngento abantu abaninzi abaninzi Afrika bayaziyo kodwa abanganye amazwe angaphezulu abangayaziyo kodwa bebekhona nabayaziyo. Yintoni leyo? Kube ndicinge xa ndinciphisa amehlo am kanje sobe ndicinga ndacinga ngoba ndinciphisa amehlo am mandicinga. Let me just think. Light bulb moment. I got it. Ndiyifumene. Ifikile engqondweni yam ndicingile. I want to overly explain Biltong. That's Biltong. Biltong. Ide yafika engqondweni ndinayicinga into endifundela ngayo. Ndifuna ukuthetha ngebiltong. Ewe, ndifunda ngebiltong. Ipelwa ngolu hlobo. Yeah. Ewe, ndithetha ngayo. Yes, I'll talk about it. If you're not African or in an African country which knows about it, you're probably wondering like, what is that? Don't worry, I'll explain it to you as you're falling asleep tonight. So happy that you don't know about it, because I'll have to explain it to you, and I'm so hungry, so I'll be eating it as I'm explaining it to you. Biltong ngebesendishilo wangowalapha eMzantsi Afrika okanye ongowaselizweni lapha eAfrika eliyenza ibiltong. Ngesiphoza uba hayi bo sive uthetha ngantoni leyo. Sibona qala ndicacisela ngayo, uzawuyazi kuba lilambile ndizobe ndiyitya ngomcacisayo, ndizobe ndiyitya uzayibona nawe. so okay, let me just look through the reflection because I'm trying to look through the screen which is far away. It's biltong, and this one is made out of beef. It's a beef biltong, and it's a chili beef biltong. Indon ibiltong ngile zokubonisa yona ibiltong lena yenziwe ngantoni, yenziwe ngenyama ebomvu, kwaye iyababa. Ibiltong ayizinje. Uyayifumana nenje. Lena yenziwe nge-boerewors. This one is made from boerewors, but this one is made from beef. Like I told you guys. Let's see. Let me just try to get a thumbnail first before I open anything. If that's what's gonna happen. Yeah. Okay. Okay, now that I'm done explaining it to you and you've seen what it looks like, now that you've seen what it looks like, let me explain it to you, but I want to read that to you as I'm explaining it to you so that it can be longer, you know. So, biltong is a form of dried cured meat which originated in southern African countries, including South Africa, Zimbabwe, Malawi, Namibia, Botswana, Lesotho, Eswatini, and Zambia. That's where you can find biltong. Yes, so exciting. It's dried meat. You do not by any means put it in the sun. Sorry, you do not by any means cook it. No, it's not cooked. Cooking for no. You just dry it up. So there are various types of meat which are used to produce biltong. Okay, ranging from beef, what I just showed you now, to game meats such as ostrich or kudu. I like the beef one. So yeah, the cut may also vary, being either fillet or meat cut into strips following grain of muscles or flat pieces sliced across the grain. It is related to beef jerky. Both are spiced dried meats. Okay, however, the typical ingredient, taste, and production processes involved may differ. Thus is sliced beef biltong. What type is it? Dried meat. Where is its place of origin? The place of origin is Southern Africa. Main ingredient, meat, and ingredients that are used for producing it after it's just been dried or during the drying process. It's black pepper, it's coriander, it's salt, and the final ingredient is vinegar. Biltong though, wow, which means strip or tongue. Strip or tongue. You can see there's a strips, meat strips. So yeah. Let me open it before I talk more about its origin, because I'm overly explaining things to you. Okay, right? So that you can see it, and then I want to eat it. When you're opening a packet, you will see that there's a tiny place that's slit here. Can you see it? A tiny place that's slit. Both sides have tiny places that's slit. Here it is. Here it is. Look closely as I pull it closer to you. Do you see? Do you see the slit? I'm pretty sure that you see the slit. Do you see the slit? Okay. The back of the packet is telling you the ingredients that I used. And it says it has beef, it has seasoning, it has salt, it has sugar, and it has spices, okay? You know, to get a bit of flavor. And then it has herbs and spices, and it has onion, and then it has acidity regulator, and then it has preservative as well, which would be that preservative being potassium sorbate, and then it also contains sulfur dioxide. And then warning, now it tells about the warning. This product is made in a factory that uses gluten and wheat. And then in terms of storage, store in cool, dry places. Okay. It has 1,226 kilojoules per 100 grams of energy. In terms of energy, and then in terms of protein, it has 49.8 grams per 100 gram, and then for carbohydrates, it has 5 gram per 100 gram, and of which total sugar is 0 grams per 100 gram, and then total fat is 8.1 gram per 100 gram, of which saturated fat is 3.8 grams per 100 gram, and then trans fat is 0.3 grams of 100 grams. I'm not sure if I should continue reading all of this. And let's just go to the last ingredient, and then it says dietary fiber is 0.2 grams per 100 grams, and then total sodium is 2,594 milligrams per 100 grams. Yeah. Let's open our sliced chili beef biltong. The back is saying sliced chili beef biltong. Can you see it? Now I'm opening it. I told you how to open it, right? Ndayivula ke ngoku. Ndiqalele bevulwa kanjani. I'm trying to not make noise. At least a lot of noise, because this is ASMR, so bear with me here. This is the top part of what you've opened. And after opening it, you're gonna try to find a space in between the two sides, because this is the side which says beef biltong sliced, and then there's the side that says sliced chili beef biltong, and then the ingredients. Now separate the front from the back. Bye. By doing this, okay? Here it is. Here's your biltong. Now let me eat biltong. It's so expensive. Biltong is not cheap, you all. It's super expensive, and I love it. My mom and dad love biltong. They love it so much, and I also love it so much. Because of that, we always have biltong at my place, because they love it so much. So that rubbed off on me. The one other thing that they love is I hate a lot. I hate umfumo. I don't know how to explain it in English. It's such a South African dish. You don't really find it anywhere. It's made from pap that's cooked in a different way, and then you pour mass, and mass is basically, so you just mix that, and then you mix with the pap. They love it. My entire family loves mass, but I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't know why. I just don't like mass. But biltong though, maybe it's because that nyama. Okay, this is what it looks like. It's sliced meat that has been dried. So good. You eat it like how you would eat your normal chips that you buy at the shop. Your potato chips. This is a longer strip of biltong. A longer strip of biltong. Do you see it? Do you see it? Oh my goodness, why is it focusing on my face? Let me just try to hide my face. Here's the biltong. Here it is. Here it is. So good. So good. So good. Here's the side. I love biltong because I know some of you guys don't like eating videos. For that sake, this is the last one I'm gonna be eating on camera. Okay. And after that, we have one that looks like this. This is fried boerewors. Fried boerewors. It's different from the beef one. And what is boerewors? I'm just gonna put a picture of it on the screen somewhere. But boerewors is basically something that looks like sausage, and not different from your normal typical sausage. And I love tomato wars, and where I am they don't have it. I've looked everywhere, they don't have it. If you have any ideas where I can get it, please let me know, because at the shops I've went to, they don't have. And I'm craving it like nobody's business. I really want tomato sauce. I really want it. I really want it. I really want it. I don't know where to get it. And the only place I know where to get it is when I'm back at home. They have it at home in one of the shops. I don't know where I live, but when I'm back at home, they have it. I mean, I always make sure that I always buy it, and it feels like torture that they don't have it here. But they do have boerewors. I don't like boerewors. My mom really likes boerewors though. I don't. I just like tomato wors. It's so yummy. So yummy, more especially fried one. So good. So I'm gonna open this one and then I move on to overly explaining things. Or should I start with overly explaining things and then move on to this one? Let me just start about the history and whatnot, and then I eat this one after that. I think that's a good idea. Okay. In terms of origin, meat preservation as a survival technique dates back to ancient times. We can all agree on that. Potassium nitrate kills, bacteria, and the deadly bacteria, to be exact, which cause botulism. What is botulism? I don't know. While the acidity of the vinegar inhibits 12 bacterium strains, and they found that 10 of the 12 strains of bacterium were killed with relatively mild concentrations of coriander oil at only just 1.6%. So yeah, in two strains which were not actively killed, Bacillium cereus. The bacteria names and species of trees and plants, those are like bombastic words. So yeah, these were the two species or two strains rather, which were not killed. The coriander oil reduced their growth significantly despite them not being killed. The need for food preservation in southern Africa was pressing. Ice boxes and refrigerators had not been invented yet, so the building up heads of livestock took a long time. With game in abundance in South Africa, however, traditional methods were called upon to preserve the meat of large African animals. So that's how the biltong came about. The meat was prepared with vinegar and spices, then hung to be air dried for fortnight during the winter, when the colder temperatures further inhibited bacterial and fungal growth. Once suitable dried, the biltong was ready for packing in cloth bags, which allowed air circulation to help prevent mold. So that's the origin of biltong. In terms of ingredients, like I told you guys, the first ingredient, the main ingredient, is the meat. The second one is black pepper. Black pepper, you can see that's a bit dark. I mean, it's dried meat, what do you expect? But also the peppers, if you looked closely, the black pepper, and then coriander oil that I was explaining about, and also based on that study which took place in a Portugal institution. So yeah, and then the other ingredient is salt. Whatever food that you serve, it needs salt, right? You know, salt makes everything better. You know, it's one of those ingredients that people overlook, but it makes a difference. Salt plays a huge role, huge role. And then after that, vinegar, like I had explained. Shh, I hear my neighbor coming in. Do you hear that? Let's wait a minute. Modern day ingredients sometimes added include malt vinegar, sugar, lemon juice, garlic, onion powder, and paprika. In terms of meat, prior to introduction of refrigeration, the curing process was used to preserve all kinds of meat in southern Africa, but biltong is most commonly made today from beef, primarily because of its widespread availability and lower cost relative to game. Game meat is super expensive in South Africa, beef not so much, and seafood somewhat expensive, let me just say it like that. And in Asia, you obviously know that beef super expensive, and then your seafood cheaper. And then what else? Where was I? For finest cuts, fillet or steak cuts from hip, such as topside or silver sides, are used. Other cuts can be used but are not as high in quality. Yeah. The cut also determines the quality of what you're going to be eating. I love these kinds of strips I've never tasted that one. I do not. I see sometimes like fish biltong, like no, I'm good. I don't think I want to try that. Maybe I should try. Maybe I might like it, but I don't think I would like it. I love seafood, but biltong, I don't think it would taste good though. If you've tasted the fish biltong in South African, how does it taste? Is it really good? Please let me know. And then you have games such as kudu, springbok, and wildebeest. And then you also have ostrich meats in terms of birds, which is bright red in color. Okay, so I want to talk about the preparation, but before we talk about the preparation and I overly explain that, let me show you this biltong. This one is made from, like I told you, boerewors. Opened it. This is what dried boerewors looks like. Dried boerewors looks like this. I like it. So good. Do you want a bite? Do you want a bite? If you're not South African and you don't know about biltong, you should definitely try it out. It's really good. It's one of my faves. I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. I always tense when I'm eating. I don't know why that is the case. And because you guys mostly don't like eating videos, this is my last bite. Why do I always tense when I'm eating? So you already saw what dried biltong looks like. Dried boerewors biltong. It tastes like boerewors with spices and grain. And I can't imagine what a tomato boerewors biltong would look like, but I love tomato boerewors. And I wish there was one so I could just like eat the biltong instead of the actual thing. Already said that was my last bite. Okay, maybe I should just chew it off screen. I'm sorry. In terms of preparation, traditionally biltong was only made during cold of winter when the risk of bacterial growth and mold would be at minimum, like I had previously mentioned. Then the vinegar is poured off before the meat is flavored with salt and spices. The spice mix is sprinkled liberally over the meat and rubbed in. The meat should then be left for a further few hours or refrigerated overnight, and any excess liquid poured off before the meat is hung in the dryer. Other recipes, which were handed down from generation to generation, require the biltong to be left overnight in vinegar, salt, and spice solution between 12 and 24 hours. The spice mix traditionally consists of equal amounts of rock salt, whole coriander, slightly roasted, rough ground black pepper, and brown sugar. The vinegar serves as the primary inhibitor of bacterial growth, according to the World Health Organization, while salt, coriander, pepper, and cloves all have antibacterial properties. was made during cold winters of South Africa held for best results. The cold, dry air typically dried out the biltong much more effectively and in the best possible food safety environment. Mold and bacterial risk are at a natural minimum, and thicker biltong cuts can be hung to dry slowly for a richer texture, fuller flavor, and darker color. Meat has only been introduced into the process in recent years, and traditional biltong makers maintain that heat makers of the inferior end results. Due to increased risk of bacterial and fungal growth, the heat method, such as that used in cardboard or wooden biltong boxes, which is urban, or cold dry rooms, which is for commercial, cannot be used without additional nitrates and nitrites, which are curing salts. Depending on the spices used, a variety of flavors may be produced. Biltong can also be made in colder climates by using electric lamps to dry the meat, but care must be taken to ventilate, as mold can begin to form on the meat. Yeah, you don't want that. Don't make biltong at home. Don't try making biltong at home. That's a health hazard. Don't do that. A traditional slow dry will deliver a medium cure in about 4 days. An electric fan assisted oven set at 40 to 70 degrees Celsius, which is 104 to 158 degrees Fahrenheit, with the door open a fraction to let out moist air, can dry the meat in about 4 hours. Although oven drying is ready to eat a day or two after preparation, traditional biltong makers still consider slow dried meat to be safe and of superior quality. Now, I said that it might be the same as beef jerky. The beef biltong might be the same as jerky. So, how are they different? Let's just compare them to one another. Okay. Biltong differs from jerky in 4 distinct ways. How many? 4 distinct ways. The meat that is used in biltong is often much thicker due to the slower drying time in dry air condition. Typically, biltong meat is cut in strips around 25 millimeters, which is 0.98 inches wide, but can be thicker. Jerky is normally very, very thin meat. Okay, the second difference number 2 is that vinegar, salt, and spices in biltong, together with the drying process, cure the meat as well as adding texture and flavor. Jerky, on the other hand, is traditionally dried with salt but not with vinegar. So it is without vinegar. And then thirdly, the third difference is that jerky is often smoked. Biltong is rarely smoked. You don't really smoke it. Again, and then biltong often does not contain any sugar additives, whilst jerky most of the time does. So those are the 4 main differences between biltong and jerky. grocery stores and can be bought in a form of wide strips known as strokies, meaning little streaks. It is also sold in plastic bags, sometimes shrink wrapped, as you have seen with my boerewors one. It was like there was no oxygen in there. I'm gonna finish all of them today after this video, by the way. And then the other one did have air. The beef one did have air in it, but it was still in a plastic bag. Shrink wrapped, and may either finely shredded or sliced as biltong chips, as you've seen with mine being sliced as biltong chips. Also, some specified retailers sell biltongs. These shops may sell biltong as wet or moist or medium or dry. Only 8 dry biltong. I've never seen the other ones, like, oh, I can't imagine, but dry is the best, or at least because I only know of dry ones. Additionally, some customers prefer it with a lot of fat, whilst others prefer it lean as possible. In terms of eating, while biltong is usually eaten as a snack, it can also be diced up into stews. Yeah, some people do even mix it with potato, like potato salad. Don't ask me about that. Let's not talk about it. And it can also be added to muffins or pot bread. Biltong flavored potato chips, potato crisps have also been produced, and some cheese spreads as well have biltong flavor. Finely shredded biltong is eaten on slices of bread and in sandwiches.